Chapter 1, Verse 1, Book of the Wolf. From now until I sleep, I am calm, I am confident, I am grateful. That's it. That's chapter 1, verse 1, Book of the Wolf. The reason that I want to be calm is because it feels good. First of all, it feels a lot better than a lot of other ways to be. Can't neglect that. Feeling good is important. 2, it works. It's been said 100 times in 100 ways by 100 people. Cooler heads prevail. When you are calm, when I am calm, I make good decisions. When I am extremely emotional, often it leads to doing necessary things, such as telling somebody to piss off when they ask for my help because I have been depleted and I need that. But if I could have calmly and rationally come to the conclusion that in the long run it would have been helpful and beneficial to me to defend that boundary, I could have probably gone about it in a more tactful way that was more beneficial. That is why I want to be calm. Confidence is a cure-all. It's magic. It's to be confident without being rigid in your beliefs. Come up with the best answer that you have and drive forward. And then, if and when you are presented with new information or shown the error of something that you were doing, then oh, okay, fine. And you fix it and you change. And that's fine. It's not the beliefs that you're confident in, it's yourself that you're confident in. I am confident that I have done the best that I could do. The information I have, this is the best that I can do. Between my information, my resources, my abilities, this is my best. I'm confident in that. So, I'm a thinker, and I think things through, and I think and think and think and think and think, and I shoot holes in my plans, and I come up with everything that I can come up with, how this could go wrong, so on and so forth. And having done that, there is no reason for me to doubt myself. Confidence. If you are not confident in yourself, you won't succeed. You'll never get anybody else on board with the plan if you're not confident in it. Confidence is, it's not a matter of whether or not you should be confident, be based on it being a good plan or you being good at. You should be confident because the only way to succeed is to be confident. It doesn't matter whether you have a right to be confident or whether, it doesn't matter. What matters is if you lack confidence, you will fail. Period. So that's why you're going to be confident, because you have to. Not because you should, as far as like, oh, I've been to 8 years of school, I should be confident in this skill set. It doesn't matter. If it needs to be done, and you need to do it, you need to be confident. Because if you lack confidence, you'll fail. If you are jumping from building to building, and you run to the edge, and you lack confidence, and you don't jump with everything that you have, you're going to fall to your death. If you try to stop while you're halfway through the jump because of a lack of confidence, you will fall to your death. So, if you lack confidence more than that, then you'll never make the jump and you'll be stuck on the building you're on, so to speak. You need confidence. Doesn't matter whether you have a right to be confident. What matters is that you have a need to be confident. So be confident because you need to. And gratitude. Gratitude is also magic. For one thing, from the other person's perspective, when I do something for someone, I personally, ideally, don't do things for people to get anything in return. However, if I do something for someone, and it costs me time, energy, money, whatever, and they are ungrateful, probably not going to do anything for them again. So, if you want people to do for you, then you should thank them. And that includes the janitor at work who empties the trash can that you use. There was a janitor at work that specifically emptied the trash cans at the lead station. And every time I would notice it, I would make sure that I said thank you. And it wasn't to make them feel better or because like I'm some kind of noble whatever. It was because there was one janitor that did it, and every other janitor emptied the rest of the trash cans and left those things overflowing. And so, because I like getting those trash cans emptied, I wanted to make sure that that one person who was doing the job knew that they were appreciated. Because if you're not appreciated, you'll stop. And clearly, the other people weren't getting in trouble for not doing it. So the only thing in my tool bag to motivate this person to continue doing the thing that I wanted them to continue to do was to say, hey, thanks. I notice and I appreciate the fact that you do this thing. It makes a difference for me. And that's all people want a lot of times. So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is if you're by yourself, if you are Will Smith and I Am Legend, and there's no one around to motivate, and you are hungry, and as you are walking down the street, you trip over a can of food, and you have food to eat. If you are grateful for that can, it does two things. Number one, it improves your experience of the day. If you take a moment and you say, this is a really good thing, and you just take a moment to intentionally and specifically enjoy the good thing that has come your way, when you look back on that day, it will be a more pleasant experience. Remember that day when I found $20, when this happened, when, little things. I don't know where my keys are, and I go, where are my keys? And I glance over, and the first thing I see is my keys. And, oh, thank you. I don't know who I'm saying it to, but just thank you. Thank you, keys, for being there, whatever, It improves the experience of the day. It focuses you in on the good thing. And the other thing it does is it trains your brain to notice the things that you're grateful for. So if there's stuff that you like, taking a second to focus on that positive experience trains your brain to notice these things more often. Opportunities and things like this that you may have missed, you will now have trained your brain to say, hey, there's a thing. Remember when we got that dopamine burst because of that thing over there? And you'll notice it. So if you like things, focus on them. It will train your brain to notice them, to pick them out. It's the same way, it's the same function of the brain where when you're shopping for a car or when you buy a new car, you notice that kind of car all the time because you've been thinking about it. There's just as many driving past you normally, but you've been focusing on that, and your brain has prioritized that as something to notice. If you are bitching all the time, then every time you focus, and I'm not saying let shit go, if something's a problem, deal with it. But deal with it and move on. Because every time that you sit there and dwell on the negative thing, you're training your brain to notice it. And if it's really a problem, you're going to notice it. You don't need to train your brain to pick up on these things. You need to train your brain to pick up on the things you want. Because the only bad things that you need to notice are between you and the thing that you want. So if you have trained your brain to notice the things that you want, and you have identified your true desires, and you are going after that goal, the bad things, the obstacles that need to be dealt with will be in your line of sight because they're between you and your goal. And so the distractions, the bad things that are not between you and your goal, that you don't actually need to worry about, you won't even notice them because you're focused on your goal. You've trained your brain to notice the things that you like and the things that you want. And the other stuff doesn't pop up as much. So that's why gratitude is important. It's important in relationships, and it's important in your own mind. So this is all very practical as far as I'm concerned. You want to be calm so that you can feel good and make good decisions. You want to be confident so that you can feel good and so that you can follow through with the decisions that you make. And you want to be grateful so that you can feel good and so that you can notice the good things and the opportunities and the actual goal items in your life. Chapter 1, Verse 1, Book of the Wolf. From now until I sleep, I am calm, I am confident, I am grateful.